We are back on the postgame show here at Blazer 91.1 WVUB, supported by Good Samaritan Hospital, provider of athletic training services for Vincennes University Hall of Fame coach Todd Franklin in his 14th season with the Trailblazers. Congratulations on the win, sir.
Yeah, it's always good to win. I didn't think it was our best performance. I don't know if it was a week off or what, but, Kankakee's got a nice team. I just didn't think we were sharp for most of the game as we should be. There were windows of time when we were, but we'll see if we can't. Now we've got back in the swing of playing again. Hopefully we'll be sharper Tuesday night.
A couple of players I thought were kind of standout in this game. I want to get your thoughts. Lorenzo Malanini. I know you started out getting the ball to him early, feeding him early down in the post, and then it seemed like that continued through the game. He got some good looks.
He did, and it was a good thing he was scoring early because we didn't have anybody else really going. And we got inside. Then they started collapsing everybody on him. And I didn't think we did a very good job for a while. They came in and tied us up and got some deals. We didn't have some perimeter guys get to the proper spots. We should have got easy shots on kickouts because they were basically sending the whole team, around him to get him. And you have to respect that. And we try to practice for that. But we'll go back and work on that harder because, he scores is great, and then if he draws all that attention, that's great too. That should lead to open shots for others. And he struggled some with it. Michael, when he got in, really struggled when they came and doubled down. I got to do a better job, I guess, of coaching that up. So we'll go back and go to work on that because there are answers to that, and there's some fundamental things you have to do. So it's a good thing when we cause everybody to collapse down on him. And it can't be a bad thing. So I thought tonight at times it made it into a bad thing. But early in the game, Lorenzo was, a horse. He was carrying us a little bit offensively. We thought we could score inside on him, so it was part of the game plan. But, we really didn't have a lot of life anywhere else. It was one of those nights seemed like it was hard to generate the snap.
We talked about that a little bit at halftime, the fact that both teams seemed a little flat compared to what their season averages were to this point and that kind of thing. Alex Montez was another player I thought gave you some really good minutes tonight.
He did. Alex is going to make plays. We got to diminish some of the negative plays that Alex will make. He's kind of hell-bent for leather sometimes, so an old term. I don't even really know exactly what it means, other than it can get a little wild. You're trying to play, and it may be a good play made, maybe a bad play made. But, as he continues to develop and minimize some of the negative plays that go along with his positives, he can be a really good player. And he definitely makes things happen. And most of the time they're positive. We're just, we're trying to coach it up a little bit to we don't want to take away his aggression. We don't want to take away his passion for playing on it and attacking it. But we got to ratchet down a little bit of that if we're actually going to win a national championship, and he's going to play big minutes. And it looks like he probably is going to do that. So, but he had a good night. He made some things happen, and had a little hard time getting it to go in the basket early. He had some decent looks, and it didn't go in for him. But as the game went along, he got some big finishes. Also wanted to mention Flavio Jean. You had him come in and play some minutes at the point, which I hadn't. Granted, I've only called 3 games, so I had seen all of them up close, but that seemed to be a new wrinkle, and I know you're kind of working at that position. He's played some. Dre's got the majority of the minutes and was really playing well for a little while. Dre's kind of hit a little dip, and he got to get himself going here. And Elijah's, taken and played, a ton of it the other night. And Elijah had big minutes in the Macomb game late. He's been instrumental in a couple of big segments for us when, like I said, the Macomb rally late, and then, the last 15, 16 minutes at Triton, he was huge. So in 2 significant stretches, he's played. So, and he got significant minutes tonight. And he's a freshman and learning, and there's, they all have their strengths and weaknesses, things that they do well, and you hope they bring that to the table. And then there's things that they've got to improve on, and that's just part of this. I mean, we'll have to be a lot better basketball team in March than we are now, and most of that is just individual improvement. I mean, we'll tweak things from strategically a little bit as we go along, but really most of what happens is players get better, and as they get better, and there's things that we try to work on to help them get better. That's how your team really improves, and some of that is just learn how hard you got to play, the intensity, the life, the tenacity. Because, like I said, I thought tonight we're a little flat, and we can't afford to be that and try to do the things that we're talking about doing.
Coach Franklin, I mentioned a couple of players, but anybody you specifically want to mention before we wrap up here?
Let me think about that. I thought Prince played hard. We got to find a way for him to hit some shots. When the ball goes in, it always looks better. No matter what it is. You can not play great, but if the ball goes in, everybody thinks you did.
Right.
But I thought he played hard tonight. I thought he made some things happen with effort. If he gets a couple shots to start going down, then all of a sudden everybody will think he's playing well. But I thought he gave us some things there. Everybody had their moments. It's like a lot of these nights like this, and then there's moments that we got to get back and go to work. I thought Jelani Johnson hit some shots for us in that first half, and that's what his strength's going to be. And when we were a little bit stagnant early, he had a couple of corner threes from each side that gave us a little bit of room, moved us from probably about 4 up to about 10 up, and, we kind of stayed there or above the rest of the way. And we're getting him worked in, and the fact that he shoots the ball well. He's trying, and, we need that weapon, so we need him to keep evolving.
So we look at this game, 8-0, number one in the country, probably going to stay that way with this win. And then they head into Tuesday night, a new opponent that you haven't faced before. They're kind of new to JUCO basketball. Any thoughts on that as we look ahead?
Only thought I got is get as many people out here as possible. We're number one in the country for a reason, and that doesn't happen just all the time. We're usually awful good, but being number one, is a unique deal. When you're at full scholarship basketball, and men's basketball is kind of the showpiece in JUCO. And when you are the number one person, and you probably have earned the right to be. It isn't just some fluff to it, whether or not we end up being number one or not, but we probably earn it right now. Getting as many people out here and getting some energy and taking advantage of what should be a special season here in Vincennes is my main thought for Tuesday.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations again on the win.